In this game, Cassian took black and Robert took white, and I am very happy to see that now Robert doesn't follow the complicated variation, but just plays another move, which is also good, also a Joseki. You don't need to always play the most fashionable variation. Other moves are also very good. And now I already remember that this is a review very much worth watching, because we will have a great study of Tewari in this game. So we start with this move. Black goes to the corner, this is correct. Extends, this is all correct. White plays this large jump, and black continues by this move. And now I didn't let black get this exchange in center, which is correct, but instead white blocked black on the other side, and black was forced to connect on the second line. And who is this result good for? It's difficult to say just by looking at the position, just by looking at the moves which were played. So what can help us? Tewari. And what else? I really don't know what else. So let's just imagine that it appeared differently. Or like first you can try to think what Joseki this can be similar to. What came to my mind first was this Joseki. Tap, tap, sorry. Hane, and then black jumps. White makes an exchange. White gets this exchange, which is certainly very good for white. But then white plays this move, and black goes up, which is quite a smart answer. Maybe black could capture, it would have been better, but this is also a smart answer. This is basically the same as the game variation. Well, in the game black played here and not there, but the Hane, but it works basically the same. Anyway, white's move here is center, so maybe the move from the game is a bit better, but basically is the same. So 12 to 13 is a very good exchange for white, but 14 to 15 is certainly good for black. How to judge? I'd say that probably white is satisfied more with the exchange, because that 14 to 15 still gives white that continuation, and later white can make a shape like this. For now, well, I would extend on the bottom side. I think a bit better for white, a little bit better. But if someone is not convinced by this Tewari, because there was one exchange good for black, one good for white, then I had also another idea. This Joseki. This is all good, and then push once more, it's a Joseki. Then Keima, yes. Block, it's all correct. Black plays here, and now white jumped, which is a good move. Normally we would extend, but if we jump, well, maybe later we can extend further. But we might be afraid that black simply ignores it. However, in the game, black answers, and not answers in this way, but in that way, which is certainly too slow. So this 12 to 13 is a very good exchange for white. And then this exchange is certainly good for black, but how much does white lose by that exchange? Well, later this move will be less powerful, that's true. But to me it seems that 12 to 13 should be a bigger gain for white than 14 to 15 a loss for white. So from this Tewari, I think that the result from the game is just a bit better for white. But also these two Tewaris inform us that the result should be quite even. So good. Tewari led us to a reasonable conclusion, and also it's very happy for white, very nice that white played this not most fashionable move, but got a better result. What went wrong for black? Well, the only culprit could be this move, because all other moves were just correct. So instead of playing here, it would have been better if black simply jumps. Well, white can try to put pressure on black's group, maybe even like this, if white is not afraid. Maybe white doesn't need to be afraid. But yeah, it's also possible for black to accept it by playing like this, or maybe now that. Maybe something like this. I don't know. The game result is quite even, but I'd be satisfied as white. Now white jumps, and this is not needed because it's just about black's moyo. Yes, it is about black's moyo, but there are no weak groups. And white also has a very big moyo to create for himself. And if black plays this move, black is not strengthening the group of his, because that group was already super strong. Black is not putting much pressure on white's group. So if white is afraid of the moyo, white can simply jump in right now, easily. So this move was maybe not the most active. If I was black, I would certainly play on the bottom side. Not let white play on the bottom side, especially not like this, because this really encourages white to make a huge moyo. Maybe with this Joseki, but maybe just go for the moyo strategy like that. But maybe black likes to play against moyo, then it's fine. White chose another Joseki though. Yes, that's also possible. This is all Joseki, yes. Black tried to use a weakness in white's shape, but then followed with this move, and this is certainly a big mistake, because black lost a liberty for both of his two stone groups. So now there is certainly a liberty problem with the stones at A. Even after the Hane, like white can easily double Hane because of the liberty problem. And also this move will be center for white, which is worth a lot of points. Just clear points to be taken in the endgame in center. So it's a significant loss on both sides. This exchange must be avoided by black, and instead black should have played like this. Maybe white plays here and black plays maybe here. Yeah, this was a mistake. Then white connected, and well, it creates weakness in black's shape, but I'm not completely sure if it's correct. Because are we afraid that black plays here? Black's shape is so thin. Maybe white was afraid that there might be a problem, with this cut of black. But I don't think there should be such problem. If black goes like this, then white wins the capturing race quite easily. And if black goes like this, then also white wins the capturing race. So, yeah, anything else? This move? This shouldn't change much. Yeah. So, nothing really to worry about. I am a bit doubtful that black is going to play this move, given how thin the shape is after that move. So then it was not necessary to play here. Maybe this is an Ajikeshi, but alright. Important move by black. Alright. This again, bad exchange by black. Again, black creates a liberty problem for himself. Better to just push than play here and push, because now, well, it's difficult to give away 4 stones, but if we don't want to give them away, then well, we end up with a dumpling. And yeah, for now white doesn't play it, because for now it might be too small. And white answered in this fashion, and this is not recommended. If your Hoshi is naked, it doesn't have a corner enclosure, then you should play here. Remember this, just play Sansan, the best move, You shouldn't even play this one, because it leaves a lot of weakness. Later your opponent might play here, and what do you do? So just play the most solid move. But certainly don't attach, because after the attachment, you cannot fight well if you don't have a corner enclosure. you cannot fight as you do with the corner enclosure. That's not possible. That's simply bad for white. I don't know. Black can do probably many different things. And here, white is in trouble, very much in trouble. So instead, white was forced to play like this and that. But this is just good for black. Why? Tewari. Again, we have a Tewari. If black plays here, which is also a good move, good way to approach such a moyo, white would prefer to play from the outside because there is a lot to be taken. But alright, it's also possible to play from the inside. And like this, it's a normal sequence. But if then white is forced to make this exchange, certainly black is better than in that other variation. This exchange certainly helps black build a group. Very simple Tewari. Just remember the Tewari and then use it in your games. So the same applies, by the way, to this same Joseki with the corner enclosure. This is a reason why you really shouldn't play like this, but you should play like that. Because if you play like this, then it's as if black started from here, and instead of playing from the outside, which is usually the better move, you play from the inside, and then you make this exchange, which is a very bad exchange for white. Yeah, this, then black pushed. Push is a bit easy for white, because white extends on the fourth line. You should rather play than knight's move in such shape. White still wants to add a move, but then you just have a better shape. And if your opponent plays like this, it's really much better for you than just pushing. But alright, then black builds a group. White plays a very powerful move. I think that this was a very, very good choice by white, and not so obvious. Many players would maybe enclose and miss the opportunity to play that very powerful turn, which puts a lot of pressure on black's group around here, and also certainly will influence the fight on the left side. Black cut, but this was not really a good timing, because first of all, white can certainly make life, but second of all, now it's a perfect opportunity for white to make these exchanges, and now black cannot give away the 4 stones because otherwise the cut becomes meaningless. And white took this chance, played this when it is center, and then simply answered. And now black was so afraid that continued, but then certainly it doesn't make sense. Black's shape only got worse. Black ended up spending another move here. Well, it would have been better to spend the move right now, because the shape is better than with these exchanges, certainly. And this is also not a good exchange for black. So white used the mistake of black very well. And now, if it was me, I would have simply captured the stone, just clarify the position. It's very powerful to have a pawn looking, but white preferred to enclose black and give black this move. Well, possible, but now we need to care about the group, and white did. White played this move, which gives an I shape, but it's a big loss. It's a really big loss. If we simply play like this, then in the end game, we have that move in center, and now it stops being our center. So how big of a loss is it? Well, in the end game, black will play this, and depending on the situation, either black will be able to get this in center, which would mean that black gained basically 4, 5, 6, 7 in center. But, well, maybe this would not be center, so then black will need to play like this, and then the position usually settles like that. So, and actually here, this is also can be considered center. So then black doesn't get 7 points, but instead black gets 5 points. 5 points in center. So it's a 5 points difference. It's almost a komi. It's a really big loss. Just because of your whim to enclose the opponent opponent and thought that you will anyway live with the group, you just give away 5 points. It just falls out of your pocket. That's unfortunate. Maybe white can try to avoid this right now and play a move like this maybe, and just make life in a different way, just to not lose those 5 points. And also now, I would still prefer to play like this and then attack from the outside and not give black this exchange in center. Then black simply lived. So this was not really a great success for white. Now white has to play here, unfortunately. It's not reasonable to start a fight like that, even though it seems that white considered it. Because, well, like this it doesn't work, and like this certainly black is out. And so yeah, so you need to enclose your opponent in center. You have to do it. But instead, white hoped that maybe white can get some moves on the outside, and well, maybe somehow we will be able to start this really unreasonable fight. So this is really the best way to lose the game. If you start such a fight, the game was good for white, but if you start a fight and don't kill, then you just lose. However, white is unreasonable with this plan because, first of all, this is a very big loss. Black got much stronger in the center because of these exchanges of white. Second, if white plays a move like this right now, which is not a center move, then black can and black should play this move by himself. If now white plays here, the situation is already clear and black can continue in any fashion black wants, because this will never work anymore for white. And it's already a game. It would have been better for white to block immediately than to block after this exchange. So it's a very clear move by black, and white cannot ignore it, because then the whole group in the center is cut off and the whole influence of white is destroyed. So black should have played this move, and it's really a pity that black didn't. Maybe black can even continue if black feels especially aggressive, but doesn't need to. Unfortunate that black didn't do it, and for white it's a very, very important lesson. When there is such an exchange, you just have to make this exchange, because it's just unreasonable to hope that you might use the other way. And you need to make this exchange, because for your opponent the move there is also very valuable. In general, better to skip center exchanges, better to not make. But in situations such like this, it shouldn't be considered education. You cannot use this agi in the other way. And you need to do it because the move of your opponent there is also very powerful. But white was lucky. Black didn't play there, and then white finally found his reason and played that move. And now, well, white is building a very big moyo. Black gained something before by the bad exchanges of white, but it will be very, very effective if all that becomes white's points. So, well, black should somehow reduce, but the way in which black reduced in the game was not enough, because, well, black didn't seal this completely, and white gained all of those points. So what should black do instead? Is playing like this good? No, it's not, because still white gets 3D a lot, still black's shape is thin, and white is connected with that one. So the only move right now on the board is this cut. It would be unreasonable for white to start a fight like that. The fight will be very easy for black. So white basically needs to protect the territory in this way, but it's clearly better than what happened in the game. Better for black to do it like this. And like this it would have been an even game. However, in the game black made it too easy for white. Maybe black didn't expect white's double hane, or that this shape will be so bad for black that there will be no good move. But yeah, in the end, white got so many points, and now it's just easy for white to finish the game. White now continued by simple moves, all kept it all simple, just made sure that the stones don't get disconnected. And here the last chance for black, or like the last hope for black, was somehow still managing to disconnect white stones, but white found that final blow, that final Tsuji, which didn't let black build a big territory in the center, and from now on the advantage of white was just too large, and white won by a very large margin. Very, very interesting game. I hope the review was also interesting with all those tewaris. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we will move to the next one, which will be the last one actually, to the last one.